Good afternoon. Welcome to the City Club of Cleveland. I'm Len Calabrese, past president of the board of directors. A former senior writer and foreign correspondent for the Wall Street Journal, G. Pascal Zachary, says in his book on economic growth called The Diversity Advantage that, quote, importers of talent must realize that migrants can only be a supplement, they can't be a substitute for a fertile local environment. Across our Cleveland Plus region, there's much work going on to revitalize our economic environment. At the same time, several organizations and groups, including the Immigrant Minority Business Alliance, the Cleveland Council on World Affairs, the Greater Cleveland Partnership, the International Services Center, and the International Community Council, among others, have been talking about the importance of building bridges among diverse groups across our region, those that have been here for decades, as well as more recent residents, and those who could be attracted here and make valuable contributions to our economy, our workforce, and our community. A mounting body of reports and studies point to the significance of attracting, developing, and retaining talent to promote economic growth and entrepreneurship. The Plain Dealer editorialized on March 29th that, quote, in a global economy that rewards intelligence, creativity, and innovation, it, Cleveland, needs to reestablish itself as a magnet for new Americans. It needs to enlist this region's many ethnic groups as ambassadors to spotlight its assets, including sophisticated business development groups, and to establish the kinds of one-stop welcome centers that have put other cities on immigrants' maps, unquote. The Welcoming Center for New Pennsylvanians in Philadelphia, under the leadership of Ann O'Callaghan, our guest speaker today, has gained national acclaim for its economic development work by welcoming and connecting foreign-born newcomers who contribute to the new economy and neighborhood revitalization, as well as helping to build bridges among diverse ethnic and racial groups across Philadelphia. An immigrant herself, Ann O'Callaghan came to Philadelphia in 1970 after being educated at the School of Medicine at the University of Dublin's Trinity College. She had further studies at the Wharton Small Business Entrepreneurial Center at the University of Pennsylvania, where she has also taught in the Allied Health College. After a career in healthcare and running her own business and raising a family, she became the founding executive director of the Welcoming Center in Philadelphia in 2003. She leads a staff of 18 with a budget of $1.6 million. She serves on numerous community and civic boards as well. Please join me in warmly welcoming to our Cleveland City Club podium, Ann O'Callaghan.
Thank you. Well, I would have done fine up here had I not read the folder that was sent to me, naming all of the illustrious and well-known and great speakers that have been at this podium before me. And it was all I could do not to say, hey, wait a minute, I'll mail you in my speech. However, I didn't have the nerve to say that to Barbara Hawkins, who came, who continued to work with us, to connect with us, to get information, and she had worked so hard I thought it would be highly ungracious of me to give in to my nervousness and not show up. So here I am. So Commissioner Lawson, good sisters of Notre Dame, fellow immigrants, ladies and gentlemen, it is actually beyond belief that I'm standing up here talking to you. This was not part of the life plan. However, I'm delighted to be here. You have shown me such hospitality and graciousness. since I got here yesterday that I'm going to be very sorry to leave today. However, leave I must, because I'm going to Ireland on Sunday. This is a wonderful opportunity, really, to make this presentation, and I hope that I will answer your questions. So much has happened since I started this thinking and this work that it would be very difficult to condense everything into 20 minutes. I think you'll get also, I will give you a background and some basic data because I really like good data. I like to know that we're getting returns on investment. I think at heart I'm a business person. So I will give you an overview of the thinking that went into developing the centre and then how we got and why we're here. And we'll give you some of the information and the data that was used to move this idea forward. And I'm guessing then that we should leave plenty of time for question and answers because I think you will be left with questions and that you will have many of them that I'll be very glad to answer. I'm a physical therapist by profession, and I'm often asked how a physical therapist got to be the director of an immigration center. So, by answering that question first, it'll give you some explanation of why the Welcoming Center does what it does and why it is an important economic and workforce development tool for our region and state. I came to Philadelphia in 1970 as a graduate student with a degree in physical therapy, and soon after 6 or 8 months, when I was, or maybe a little bit less than a year, when I was due to go back, I met this handsome Irish American and I thought I would hang around a bit longer and see were there any possibilities in this. I needed a job to do that. And so the University of Pennsylvania hired me to teach physical therapy students in their School of Allied Medical Profession. And I managed to encourage my present husband to figure out what was in his best future and to become engaged and marry me. And then I needed a job. I was going to stay here. So got my green card very easily because physical therapy was a much needed profession at that time in Pennsylvania, and indeed continues to be, and wanted to get my license to practice, and went to the state board and said, give me the information, I want to get my license to practice. And they said, fill out this form, which I did and sent it in, and then they sent it back to me and they said, oh, sorry, you're not eligible to take the test because you didn't graduate from a Pennsylvania accredited school. I said, well, I'm teaching in one. No, too bad, sorry. So what to do now? Now, you can imagine coming, or any of you who know anything about the history of Ireland, Ireland in the 50s, 60s and 70s was third world in many ways. And so I was a very lucky lady indeed to have gotten an opportunity to get this education and to get this credential. And I wasn't about to let it go.